Hi, my name is Katie, and I am an analytics engineer at Seeq. This video is an overview of some of the new features in Seeq version R58. To find out which version you are using, refer to the bottom left corner of your Seeq screen. First, we are excited to announce that Spanish is the most recent addition to the growing list of supported languages. You can now select it from the language dropdown in your user profile to work with Seeq in Spanish. Let's dive into some new Workbench features. This first feature is bulk modifying asset group calculations. If you're not familiar with asset groups yet, asset groups are an easy way to create asset hierarchies right from Seeq Workbench using point and click tools. Here, we have created an asset group for all the reactors on line 1, so we can scale our analysis over all the different reactors. In R58, we have enhanced asset groups to allow for quicker iterations. Now, once a formula is updated on one asset, there is the option to apply this formula to all other assets. For example, we can modify this smooth temperature item. Perhaps we need to make a change to the formula, in this case, reducing the window to 1 minute. Once the formula looks the way we would like it, we can select the checkbox here to apply it to all other assets. This will then make the change in every other asset, so we don't need to manually update each of them with the same formula. Now they are all updated to a 1 minute smoothing window. Back in the trend view, you may have noticed some differences in the Details pane Customize section. When we click on Customize, there are now several different sections: Axis, Order, and Style, to make it easier to find your customizations. Previously, all of the customizations were listed all together. If you like them all in one place, you can still view it that way if you select the All section. Let's dive into the Order section and a new Customize feature. We now have the ability to reorder conditions. In previous versions of Seeq, conditions could not be rearranged and did not have a lane. Now, you can use the order numbering to change where the condition is placed. In Trend View above, you can see I have a process with sequential steps, operations 1, 2, 3, etc. Depending on the order in which I created these steps, they may have ended up in a different order than how I want to visualize them. Now I can use the lane buttons to put them in a logical sequence, so it's easy to understand. Next, we'll talk about shading. You can see we have built a golden profile analysis and applied some shading to our golden profile limits. In R58, we have simplified shading. Now, all shading will be created through the scorecard metric tool, which allows users more flexibility in the color options available for shading and the placement of the shading. If you used the boundary tool for shading in the past, it no longer exists, but any of those boundaries will be automatically converted to scorecard metrics. See more about what to expect at the link in the description. Finally, in condition tables, we have some new columns that can be added, including the name of the condition. Here, I want to create a table of all the different operations, and I want to know the duration of each operation. I can now add the name of the condition to the table to give more context on which condition we are looking at. Now, let's check out a new feature in Organizer. In R58, asset groups are now more discoverable for selection. Let's look at what this means. First, we'll insert a visual from Workbench where we have an asset group. Here we have a golden profile analysis, which has been scaled over each reactor in this asset group. We will insert the visual in the topic. Then, to allow for asset group swapping right in the Organizer topic, we will add a new asset selection. Since we added content from the Workbench that has the asset group, we can now quickly find that asset group in the asset selector. We will drill down one level into the individual assets and select the radio button for one to start with. Then we'll link it to the content. Now that we have our asset selection, we can swap the visual to different reactors to understand what is going on in more detail. Here we can tell from the tree map that there is something going on in reactor 2. so I will select Reactor 2 from the dropdown to find out more. Next up is Seeq Data Lab. In R58, Seeq Data Lab now has JupyterLab. If you want to switch to JupyterLab, you can toggle the advanced mode in the header. JupyterLab is a more feature-rich environment with a modern look and feel that gives users more flexibility. You can edit your settings, and they will persist across all your Data Lab projects. Some other exciting features of JupyterLab are Git integration, debugging, dark mode, and much more. You can now see your items in tabs and move them around to your liking. You can set this as your default by checking the Advanced mode as default in your Settings menu. In other Data Lab news, we can now use a notebook in a Data Lab project as an API endpoint for front-end add-ons. This means we can develop an add-on that more seamlessly integrates into the tool pane or display, loads quicker, and doesn't have to pop out into a new tab or window. If you're an admin, we have a new tab in the administration pane, which gives insights into usage on your Seeq server, specifically how much data is flowing through Seeq. You can use this interface to aggregate how the data flows by date, user, type, or source, and filter by individual users or groups. You might use this to identify your super users and which types of Seeq content are frequently accessed. If you want to learn more, you can read more at the link in the description. Thank you for watching this video on what's new in R58. Happy seeking!